everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about under eye concealer and tips and tricks and ways that you can keep your under eye concealer from getting dry, cakey, and crease looking. So if that interests you, stay tuned. Okay, so like I said in my introduction, one of the biggest problems I see with my own eyes and with other women's eyes is when we put concealer on underneath, it looks dry and cakey, but we still have the issue of having dark circles, puffiness, and fine lines that we want to conceal and cover up. So I have found ways that have worked not only for myself, but when I'm doing makeup on other people. And for those of you who don't know, I am a licensed cosmetologist. I've been in the beauty industry my entire life, worked mainly in salons, and then, you know, the last 20 some years I've been just working with bridal hair and makeup for the bride, bridal party, mother of the bride, whomever needs their hair and makeup done for a wedding day. So anyway, let me talk to you about some of the things that I do. So first, I start off with using a moisturizer under my eye, an eye cream. You don't have to use an eye cream. You can use whatever lightweight cream that you use on your moisturizer that you use on your face, and then put that under your eye. But I think key is having a hydrated under eye. And then before you apply your concealer, it's a good idea to put a moisturizer on underneath there and let it sit in there for a few minutes before you do put a concealer on. So some of the under eye creams that I love are this one here by CeraVe. It's a good staple. I've had this for, you know, in my cabinet for, I don't know, years now. I use that. I also use this one by Sicily. It is an eye mask that I put on underneath my eye and let it sit there overnight. I've had this one, probably, it's expensive, but I've had it for close to 2 years now, and it's still, there's still like a quarter of a tube left. Then I also have this other one from Sicily that's in just another eye contour cream that I like too, and they're pretty lightweight. I never get milia with these, which is something I'm prone to getting. And then occasionally when my under eye gets really dry, I'll put on any one of these creams on my under eye, and then I'll go over it with Aquaphor. And Aquaphor is a really occlusive moisturizer. It's very thick and heavy, so I put a lightweight under eye cream on, and then I go over it with the Aquaphor. But I would only do this if you're not prone to getting milia, because this will clog the pores in your under eye. And I would only do this, you know, occasionally. I wouldn't do this every night, because I just feel like it's probably gonna be too heavy. But I can tell you, when you do that, it just locks in the moisture, especially when the air is cold and dry like it is now here in New Jersey. This really helps out a lot. Okay, so that's number one that you wanna do. Number two is what we're gonna go in and do, and this is something that, you know, I do all the time with my own makeup, is now I have my eye makeup on, and I had a doctor's appointment, so I just took off my concealer underneath. What I do is I go in and I take my foundation that I've used across my face, and I'll take my brush and I'll go in there and I will bring my foundation up as close to my under eye as possible, right? Just to kind of have it all blend in, so I don't have like, I don't know, like a lighter under eye and then foundation, which is like maybe a shade or two darker than what my under eye is. So I bring that up and I bring it in all up underneath there. So it looks like I have a nice even application. But I'm still, like, that's just a little too dark for me to keep under my under eye. So I'll go in next with a concealer, right? And we don't want it to get too heavy. That's why you just put a little bit of the foundation on just to kind of even everything out. And then I'll go in with the concealer. But the thing that I do when I go in with my concealer is, first of all, I don't go heavy with the concealer. And while I'm doing it, I'm just constantly having this, it's just kind of funny. I just keep my eyes and mouth open like this so that it lays flat, so that because if you're putting on concealer and then it's not dry and you close your eye or squint while you're doing it or look around, like, you're gonna get creasing underneath there. So this really helps if you do this facial expression that I'm showing you. So I go in, I'm gonna look at the mirror here, and go in and put the concealer where I need it. Now, you're not gonna get 100% coverage. To get 100% coverage, you would just have to go in there and put like a thick layer of, you know, some type of cream. So anyway, just keep looking up. I mean, while you're putting the dots on, you don't have to look up, but while you're spreading it out and blending it in, you really should just keep looking up. And keeping your mouth like this. But this will make the difference, I'm telling you. So. So I'm just gonna show you what I do next. So I just keep looking up while that's drying. Then I take some of this Fix Plus and I spray it onto my hand, like that. And then I take that brush again and I go underneath there with the Fix Plus while I'm still making that base. It's hard for me to explain to you what I'm doing. So just keep looking up and keep that face on while you're doing this entire process. I go in and go. And what that does is, this is the prep and prime. You can also use a finishing spray, any type of light spray that you have, and just kind of keep looking up while you're doing that and tapping your under eye. And then next I'll go in, and I don't use a loose, I won't use like a loose powder. I'll use, and you can see this one's Well Loved. This is the number 7. I'll go in there and I'll use, or you can use this one here too, I have by Hourglass. I'll go in. The loose powders, if I go in underneath there to set that, what happens is I find that with my eye texture, like it will get cakey. This one here by Hourglass. This is their, what is this? Their Ambient Define Light powder. And I'll take a big fluffy brush, like this one here, and I'll go in and I'll swirl it around in there, tap off the excess, and while I'm still looking up with my face like that, like this, I'll go in and tap that setting powder underneath my eye. Now, the key to doing this is just keeping a light touch. Nothing should be too heavy, especially in the under eye. The heavier you get, the more creased it looks. And I can tell you, and then the older you feel, because the minute you go outside and you look in your eyes, like you're gonna be able to see like creasing underneath. And that is one of the biggest complaints I get from mothers when they've never worn makeup and then they come in and they have their makeup done. If somebody goes in there with, you know, someplace else that they have, their biggest complaint is that they have like all this creasing and they can see their fine lines more, you know, than they did before. And, you know, that's the thing that bothers them the most. So the key is to keep it as light as possible when you're going underneath there with everything, with the concealer, with your moisturizer. You don't want that to be too heavy when you're doing your makeup. Like at night, you can leave it as heavy as you can tolerate. Like I said, be careful of Amelia. But everything else should just be a light touch. And without the concealer, especially if you're having photographs done, it's gonna look, you're gonna look tired and old. You want your eyes to look brighter and wider in the pictures, and nobody is gonna be coming up this close to you and talking to you. So to see that, but you want it to look as natural as possible, right? So that's always my goal. So anyway, you can see that it's not heavy, it's not cakey. I do have fine lines and wrinkles. It's not gonna take away fine lines and wrinkles, I can guarantee you that. But it's not gonna look as creased and dry looking if you try doing these things prior to putting on your concealer. So anyway guys, if this video helped you, please consider subscribing, giving this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone, take care.